Welcome back to the My Pro Golfer channel. Today we're going to take you through the next episode of Take Me to the Tour, and I'm a month into hopefully the final major change in my golf swing. And if you follow along to this playlist, you'll learn that I'm on a plan and a path to get myself on a professional tour again in the upcoming years. I'm going to be working hard on my body this year. You're going to see that video coming here very shortly. But today I want to just take you through the changes that I made from last month's video and how comfortable I've finally become of that last major change in my golf swing. So stay tuned, take some notes about how to take yourself from point A to point B while you follow this playlist, Take Me to the Tour. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. Here at My Pro Golfer, you know we like to keep things simple. And today, I've got a special gift for you to help you never miss a 5-foot putt again. Click the link below and download today. Well, hopefully you can tell by that swing I'm gaining in confidence in the golf swing that I'm on this last change, hopefully, of from last video. So if you follow this playlist is special to me because if I do make it, this will be a pretty popular playlist and people will be able to see the work that went into what it takes to get to a tour level player. And so I'm on that last phase of this transition year of my golf swing for 2024, and we've see the process, we see the changes happening. We don't see the results on course. My stroke average is actually up 3 or 4 shots from last year, and up 3 or 4 shots from that year when I was a +2 in 2022. But I spent a lot of time playing, not necessarily getting better. And so I played a lot, but I don't think I was better. My tournament scores were just as average as they were before. So this year I really took a time to test some changes in my golf swing, and so now we're in that last phase. I'm going to take you through the comfort level and the changes that I made over the last month, and then get into some stepping stones that we're going to be putting together for the 2025 golf season. Hey, just want to remind you to not forget on getting your free gift below on how to never miss a 5-foot putt. I definitely had a better feel. Ball is just coming out a little stronger and a little bit more precision based, so a little bit more solid strike, and I'm getting some great numbers with these range balls. 127, my ball speed was 98, a little bit spinny, but the trajectories and the angle of attacks and the path and a little bit of left spin, which I kind of lost. I thought I just wasn't gonna be able to play golf unless I hit a fade. And now with this new mechanism, it's sort of just kind of a consistent draw, which I kind of like looking at. I'm hitting the ball a little bit further. So there's some measurables there that I'm liking to see. And so, you know, you can spend all the days you want on a monitor, but when it really comes down to it, you've got to make sure that it's performing on the golf course. And so, you know, you can get some numbers, and that's important. You can get a good idea of how far you hit it, but the best way to figure out your numbers is to see it on the golf course. So where did my ball land? Find your ball mark. Walk it to the pin. You know the yardage because you shot it with your rangefinder or you saw it on your GPS. And so, hey, in real time, these are my real numbers because I can get in a real groove here and just start pounding the ball. And I may hit it 10 yards further than I think I can, but when I get on the golf course, that's when I really want you to calculate where you're from. Take the time to really see what your stats are doing, and that's what we're going to talk about next. And so I have one big goal for this year, and that big goal is to be a plus handicap. I am right now a 1.4 in the Gen app, and I've started to post all my scores because I want a real compilation of the year, and I've played probably 20 times this year, which for me is a little light, but I'm getting there. Life changes and all that, so now I'm going to be focusing a lot more this year on my body and practicing this new swing as we've gone through this last step, hopefully, of change, and the ball flight's coming out, and it feels comfortable, which is big. I'm comfortable with the change where I wasn't really comfortable with the change in March. We made that last change here in December. Now we're a month through working on it. I like the way the ball comes out better. I feel more confident with it. It doesn't make a struggle in my mind. So this is probably the swing I'm going to have as long as it holds up in tournaments. And so that's the next big phase. It does feel a lot freer. And I think if I could just free myself up to swing free in tournaments, then I should be in a good place to repeat this. So the number one goal I have is to be a plus handicap. And we're going to do some stat checking to talk through like where am I at from that. And so this is a tough year because anytime you change your golf swing, you're going to have your shots are not going to be where you want them to go. And so your misses are going to be different. Your solid flush shots are going to be different. I hit 3 balls on Thursday in my last competitive match, 10 yards over greens. That was just ridiculous to me. I've just never done that. So I know that there are changes happening in my swing, and I need to learn that. And where I play, long is dead. And so I made double on a par 4 on a 196-yard hole into the wind where I hit 4-iron, which is normally 190 yards for me. Well, I airmailed it. I probably hit it about 205, 210, which is just something I don't do. And so I'm learning that I'm getting to a place in my golf swing where I'm pretty excited about it. And then so the next pace is just trying to get my head around my stats for the season, and then where do I need to find scores. I'm getting better at putting, very few 3 putts. Oh, I'm down to a 1.3. With my low, just 2 years ago was plus 1.8. So I was closer at scoring then, but there were a lot of casual rounds and the scores in the tournaments would go back up to where they were before. So I was playing a lot, but not really getting better, if that makes sense. So now I'm better as a golfer with worse scores. Now I need to learn how to score. And so let's just look at some stats here from this year. Let's go to I just used the Gen app through Florida. My scoring average in the last 20 rounds is 78.1. So that's up 3.5 from last year, which makes sense because I'm hitting shots I'm very unsure of and very rare that I hit those shots. But now there's some good scores here as well. So from a stat standpoint, my scoring average over the last 20 rounds, I had 60% of them were pars. I had 27% were birdies. I had 7% were bogeys, and unfortunately 8% were doubles. So right away, I can get better at just not making a double, right? Don't be spectacular. Get it on the green, 2-putt, get your bogey, and move on. I'm over par on par 5 percentages, which just means I'm not playing par 5s mathematically smart. So I'm either trying to go for it in 2, which may be a stretch for me. As I get stronger, it'll be easier. But I tend to try to hit a miracle shot versus just laying up to a nice little spot, pitching on, chipping on, whatever it is, and making a bogey on a par 5 instead of making it at worst a par. On tour, that number is like 4.2 for the average tour player. They're birdieing, if there's 4 par 5s, they're birdieing 3 of them for sure, and sometimes eagling. So that's really important to get my head around. I'm pretty good on par 3s, which means if you get an iron in my hand, I'm probably going to be pretty solid. And then par 4s is sort of it's kind of the norm. Like the par 4s generally play the hardest, so it's 4.4 right now. So we'll see those change. I'll do a screenshot of this at the end of the year. I've got one more round to play, and then we'll screenshot this and see where we are. My putting got a little bit better. A very few 3 putts now. A lot of 1 putts. 30% of my putts are 1 putts, and 66% are 2 putts. And I'm getting up and down 3.7 of the greens that I missed. Now the problem is I'm only hitting 9 greens. Okay, so my shots have been off. I'm missing right and short mostly. So that move when I'm trying to push down and push up, I might slide a little bit so that club face opens and fattens, which was my old move. So I'm stuck in between the slide and the sweep, hitting a high sweepy draw versus the lift, push off and compress so that ball comes out really hot with a little draw. So that makes sense that I'm short and right with my misses to the percent of very high percentage there. Now, I've recently been hitting the ball over greens because I'm compressing the ball a lot better. My driving has gotten a lot better. I'm 60% in the middle of the fairway, and I'm missing left 15%, I'm missing right 24%. So my variance isn't ridiculous. Like I'm not slicing it a lot or I'm not hooking it a lot. And I want the ball to miss right so it comes off a little softer versus miss left. And I would say I'm inside the tree line 98% of the time, and I'm not hitting it OB, I'm not hitting it in hazards off the tee. So that part of my game, which was the killer for tournaments, I feel like is really becoming cemented, and I'm really getting good at that position. So those are some stats that I really want to track. I'll get a little bit more specific in the stats I want to achieve based on these numbers as we continue with Take Me to the Tour. So thank you all for watching this Take Me to the Tour series. It's really exciting for me to kind of track what I'm doing, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as you watch the journey that I'm on. And I hope it encourages you to get yourself some patterns and some steps to getting better at this game, all while watching somebody struggle through the nuances of trying to find small measurable changes. And so based on what we just talked about and what we learned from where I'm at as we start a brand new year with new tournaments and new adventures and new opportunities, my main focus is going to be hitting greens. So at 47% of my greens, I used to be hit it 12 to maybe it's 14 greens around. My focus is going to be trying to get from hitting 9, averaging 9 greens to averaging 13. So I'm going to really focus on hitting greens because my putting's getting better. I'm driving the ball better. I need to get better at trusting this new iron feel. And so I think that I'm going to start working on hitting fatter areas of the green, not so focused on the pin itself, and just making sure that I'm making the commitment with that load back, down an inch, down in 2 inches, and thrusting up versus that old slide and flick that I was really, really good at through my life. Let's give it a little quick look, and then we'll see you all next time. If you haven't already, if you like this video, subscribe. And then if you want more information, comment below, because our goals are to get better at golf each and every day, and that's the shot I need pulled off under pressure to take myself to the tour. We'll see you next Thursday at 6 o'clock.